About some key shopping vocabulary. First, we're going to talk about things that I want to buy. Then we'll talk about things I already bought. And then you'll see a sample conversation about shopping between my husband Dan and I. And finally, it's going to be your turn to speak in English. Yes, you will get an opportunity to speak with me about shopping. So listen up, pay attention, and let's go. Our first category of vocabulary expressions are things I want to buy. The first expression is I'm in the market for. You could say I'm in the market for a new car because mine keeps breaking down. Well, this expression just means I'm looking to purchase a new car, but it's not very emotional. The first expressions we're talking about here are not very emotionally driven purchases. I'm in the market for a new car. It's just a necessity. I'm in the market for it. The next expression is a little similar. I'm on the hunt for. I'm on the hunt for some ski gear for my upcoming ski trip. Do you know where I can get any on sale? Well, this is not a very emotionally driven purchase. I'm on the hunt for something. Okay, well, I need to buy it. It's a necessity. So I'm on the hunt for some ski gear. Do you know where I can get a discount? Our next expression is starting to get a little more emotional. I have my eye on a new bike, but I think I'm going to wait until I get a raise at work first. Here we kind of get the sense that I'm being pulled closer to that bike. I have my eye on that bike. That's the bike that I want to buy. But I don't have enough money right now. I'm going to wait until I get a raise at work and then I'll consider buying the bike. You get the sense that there's a little bit more emotion involved in wanting to purchase something. Now let's take the emotion up a notch. I'm drooling over something. Do you know what drool is? It's the saliva that comes out of your mouth. And if you're looking at something that you really love, maybe your mouth starts to water. If you see a beautiful, delicious dinner in front of you, you start to drool. Well, it might be the same for a purchase that's not food. You might say, oh, I've been drooling over that jacket ever since I saw it in the store. I think I'm gonna buy it. This is a highly emotionally driven purchase. I'm drooling over it. Another emotionally charged phrase about shopping is I've been dreaming about going to the beach ever since I saw that beautiful picture on Instagram. Has this ever happened to you? You see a picture of a destination and you think, I can't stop thinking about it. I need to go there. You start to dream about it, and that's what this phrase is. Oh, I'm dreaming about going to the beach. Hopefully I can make it happen. And our final phrase to talk about purchasing something that is extremely emotionally driven is this one. I'm dying to get, or I'm dying to buy. Hopefully you're not really dying to get something, but this is the sense every part of your being is longing for that item. So take a look at this sentence. My kids were dying to get tickets to the circus. There's this really cute circus that comes to our town every year, and there's about 6 performers. It's in a small tent. There's no animals. It's really wonderful. And this year they were scheduled to come during the week that we ended up getting a really serious hurricane and flood in my town. So a lot of the kids around here were super sad. They were really bummed because the circus couldn't come. But guess what? The circus came anyway. They chose another location and they offered free tickets so that anyone who wanted to come, even if your house had been washed away in the flood, you could still come and experience a bit of joy. Isn't that such a beautiful thing? I love when people are giving and selfless. So we could say my kids were dying to get tickets to the circus, and even though everything stood in their way, a hurricane, a flood, natural disasters, they were still able to get tickets. How wonderful. Now that we've talked about phrases for things that we want to buy, let's talk about a few phrases that you can use for things that you have already purchased. Take a look at this. I finally bit the bullet and bought. This is kind of a tongue twister. I finally bit the bullet. Do you know what a bullet is? It's the little metal piece that comes out of a gun. Why in the world would you bite a bullet? Well, we get the sense here that you did something difficult, something that you really didn't want to do. So this is not an emotionally driven purchase. These first few phrases here are not very emotionally driven. In fact, you feel reluctant to purchase something. I finally bit the bullet and bought a new computer for work. You didn't want to spend money on that. This was not something that was exciting to you, but I finally bit the bullet and bought a new computer for work. You can use this phrase to bite the bullet for other things that you don't want to do too. Take a look at this sentence. I finally bit the bullet and called the electrical company. I don't want to call the electrical company. That's so frustrating. And you have to go and wait on the phone and go from this line to that line and pass from this person to that person. Ugh, I always put off calling the electrical company if I need to. But when you finally do it, you finally do a task that you have been avoiding doing, this is a perfect phrase. And now you are armed, ha ha ha, little joke. You are armed with this phrase. I finally bit the bullet and called the electrical company. And you know what? After 15 minutes, it was done. How great. The next phrase to talk about shopping for something that is not very emotionally driven is I upgraded my phone and now it takes really great pictures. Okay, well, maybe I'm excited that it takes really great pictures, but this phrase upgraded doesn't imply a lot of excitement. Like, okay, I got a new phone. I upgraded my phone and now it takes great pictures. Cool. The next phrase to talk about purchases that you've already made that's not very emotional is this one. I invested in my business by taking an accounting course online. Well, this is not super emotionally driven. It's necessity driven, right? It's something that I need to do to help my business. I invested. So these phrases, invested, upgraded, we're not talking about high emotion here, but the next phrases are very high in emotion. For purchases that you already made that are emotionally driven, you might use this. I splurged on a kayaking tour on our last vacation. Well, when we use to splurge on, we get the sense that it's more expensive than I would want to spend. I splurged on it. I used some extra money to spend on this special thing or activity. I splurged on a kayaking tour while we were on vacation. You can also use this for smaller purchases that just feel a little bit expensive. So let's say you're at the grocery store and you're wanting to buy some chocolate and you see there's cheap chocolate, medium priced chocolate, and expensive chocolate. But you know that this expensive chocolate is so great. Maybe you could spend $1, $2, or $5 on a chocolate bar. And you know what? $5 is not that much money, but for a chocolate bar, it is expensive. So you might say, I think I'm going to splurge and buy the expensive chocolate bar. Well, you're probably not going to break the bank. That means use all your money to buy that $5 chocolate bar, but it feels expensive. So you can still use to splurge for purchases that are not too expensive, but they feel expensive. I'm gonna splurge and buy that fancy chocolate bar. The next phrase to talk about purchases that are very emotionally driven is I went for it. You can say this, I've been saving up my money and finally I went for it. I booked a trip to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii, but I would love to go someday. And we get the sense here that you've been waiting for this trip. I've been saving my money and I went for it. You get the sense that you're diving into the water. I went for it and I booked a trip to Hawaii. I just went for it. We don't know if this is a good purchase or a bad purchase. It could be a neutral purchase, but it's something that is exciting to you. I went for it. I decided to buy a trip to Hawaii. Our final phrase to talk about purchases that you've already made. This is one that is highly emotionally driven, and it was a deal I couldn't pass up. Do you know what a deal is? This means the discount was so amazing that you just could not walk away. There was a deal or a discount. So let's imagine you're at the store and you see some shirts. There's a shirt that's $30, a shirt that's $20, and then you see this shirt, this navy blue shirt with little white hearts on it, and you think, oh, that's a nice shirt, I really like that. And then you look at the price tag, and it's only $5. What? Do you think that you're gonna walk away? No way. You're going to buy that shirt right away, and you're gonna say, well, it was a deal I just couldn't pass up. This phrasal verb to pass up means to ignore something. You're just going to walk away. Well, no way are you walking away in this scenario. It was a deal I couldn't pass up. Only $5 and I like the shirt. Great. All right, now that you have learned some important phrases to talk about shopping in English, it's going to be time to see a sample conversation between my husband Dan and I to talk about shopping. I want you to listen for the key phrases that you just heard, because after this conversation, it's going to be your turn to practice speaking in English with me. Let's go.
Hey Dan, what are you up to?
Oh, hey Vanessa. I'm on the hunt for a new TV. Do you know any sales going on?
Well, I just upgraded my TV. I can sell you my old one if you want.
Well, I have been drooling over this giant 65-inch flat screen TV over there, but I think I'll have to wait for it to go on sale.
I know what you mean. When the one that I wanted went on sale, I went for it. It was a deal I couldn't pass up.
I think I should just wait for the one I want to go on sale. That way I don't have to splurge on it.
Okay, well, if you're interested in buying my old one, just let me know.
I'll think about it. Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, now that you've seen that sample conversation, it's time to get those speaking muscles ready, and we are going to have a conversation together about shopping. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and after each question, I will pause. I challenge you to speak out loud in the pause. I want you to answer my question. If you need more time to answer, you can click pause on this video, no problem. And you're welcome to go back and review this section as many times as you want. That's the wonderful thing about learning English online. All right, let's get started with our conversation. I'd love to know, what is something expensive that you have your eye on? Tell me about it. So is this something that you're upgrading to, like you need it? Or is it something that you're splurging on that you really want? Let me know. Oh, that will be a fun purchase. Well, for me, I'm thinking of investing in a new laptop for my work because mine keeps breaking down lately. Is there anything that you have invested in lately that was interesting or you would recommend? Oh, thank you so much for sharing. I love talking to you today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.